Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Just want to say thanks again for stopping by. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click the button in the bottom corner, subscribe. It's free and very much appreciated. So today we're going to start building up the Devinci Kobain hardtail. And the first thing I wanted to do was do some frame protection on it. It's one thing I didn't do on my previous two bikes and something I regret not doing when I first got them because they got pretty beat up. So I'm going to do some frame protection on the Kobain. We'll be doing the top tube, bottom of the bottom tube here, probably the chainstays. I have another idea for the main chainstay. I'll show you guys what I'm going to do there. But the one thing that I was having trouble with was this is a matte finish bike, and a lot of the protective kits out there, at least the cheaper ones, like you say just to use 3M protective tape, which I hear works really well, but it's really hard to find in a matte finish. So I was able to find a kit relatively cheap for matte finish. So let's take a look at what I got that I'm going to put on the frame here. So this was the kit that I was able to get that had a matte finish. It is the Lamin-X Frameguard in matte finish. I think it was about $20 on Amazon. So still pretty good price for what you get. I'll show you what it comes with here. I also want to apologize for the heater, if you can hear that in the background. I just wanted to keep it a little bit warm-ish in the garage while doing that, so hopefully that's not too distracting. So anyways, let's take a look at what this kit comes with. Obviously it comes with the protective roll here. This is again in a matte finish there. It does actually come with a water bottle, spray bottle, that they suggest you put a little bit of mild soap. I just used some mild detergent, like dish detergent and water, and this will help with applying it to the frame. Comes with a little squeegee tool, if it focuses there, a little squeegee tool that we can use to wipe the water off the film or get the water underneath the film out when we put it on, and it even includes its own cutting tool, just an X-Acto knife here to cut the film. So a couple other things that I've gathered here that we might need. I have some isopropyl alcohol that we can use to clean the frame with before we apply any of this. I do have a heat gun in case we need that for anything. And I do have this 3M rubber mastic tape, and this is what I plan to use for the actual chainstay protector, or to do for that. So I'll show you when I get to that what my plan is for that. So let's get this frame ready to be protected. So I got the bike all ready, or the frame all ready to go here, just using an old seat post. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna clean the frame first with some isopropyl alcohol, get it all nice and clean before we do anything further here. Okay, so now that it's nice and clean, we're gonna go ahead. One other thing I forgot to mention you'll need to do this is a tape measure. You'll need to make sure you have a tape measure, because I'm gonna basically measure the different sections that I'm gonna need to cut to length the roll of film to fit. So first we're gonna do the top tube. So I'm just gonna do a measurement there. So I'm looking at 21 3/4 inches for the top tube piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. Okay, so I have that cut. Now the one thing I'm kind of thinking that this is too thick, like this way. You can kind of see when I put it over the top tube, it kind of hangs down too far, especially up near the head tube here. So I'm thinking I'm going to cut this so it only comes down about this far on both sides. So I'm gonna cut probably about this much or so off of this, the entire length of it. So I just want to kind of get an idea of what I'm doing here, then I'll get a straight edge and cut that off. Okay, so I've trimmed that off there. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to round the edges of this just so they don't have straight sort of 90-degree edges that might be prone to peel up. So I'm just going to round off the corners of this. Just using some scissors, I'm just gonna just round off the edge like that, if you can see. There. So I've rounded off the ends of both pieces, both sides. So now I can go ahead and put that on the top tube. So just want to mention that Lamin-X does include some nice handy instructions on how to do all this. So make sure to check that out, kind of browse through them, check out some other YouTube videos. I'm sure you get the idea. But basically it's saying here, we've cut everything, we've removed any dust and dirt from the frame. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the backing liner from the paper, then spray down the top tube with a little bit of that soapy water, and also the back of the protective film, we're gonna spray that. Now I gotta figure out how to peel off the backing protector off of here. All right, so I'm just peeling off the backing paper off the protective film here now. Grabbing the spray bottle. So it says to spray the adhesive side of the backing paper. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray that a little bit with this soapy solution. Okay. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and position this on there, and with that solution, I should be able to move it around and get it where I want it on there. Just gonna it's looking pretty good. Now it says to take the squeegee and wrap it like in a paper towel. That's a shop towel here. Just to squeegee out. It also says to help put some water, some of this spray solution on the top of the film as well. So I'm just gonna squeegee out all the air bubbles, although it seems to have gone on pretty good. Checking for any air bubbles. I think I might need to get the heat gun out here just for this area here. It's kind of overlapping a little bit down there, and or it won't wrap around and stay down. So I think I might need a little bit of a heat gun there. So overall, that looks pretty good, I must say. I think, I'm sure it might not look as good when it totally dries, but I think it looks pretty good on there. I like the matte finish. It looks just like factory. You can't even really tell where it is. Something I wish I would have done on the rain for sure, because that bike got beat to death. This would have been nice on it. So let's go ahead, we're gonna move now to do the bottom tube. Same concept basically. So I just wanted to show here that because of the way this is designed here, if I show this, put this up here, that it doesn't really fold very well right here. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna cut this back like so, kind of right here on this end of it, and it should work pretty good, I think. One thing I didn't account for, which I should have, was the holes for the internal routing. So I'm just gonna have to trim, oh, there's the camera there, just gonna have to trim around this a little bit here on both sides to get it to fit around the internal housing holes here. So I've flipped the bike upside down in the stand. It'd just be a lot easier to work on with it upside down like this, especially this part here where it's kind of slanted. I think we're gonna have to really work with that with a heat gun maybe to get it nice and contoured there. That is the nice thing about doing this now with the bike with nothing, no components on it. It's very easy to work with. So this part's kind of a mess here, so I'm going to spray it with some more water and get out the heat gun, I think, and we're gonna have to massage that a little bit more into place, I think. All right, so finally I think we got this part massaged into place. Just a lot of, just gotta take your time. Heat gun comes in handy for sure. All right, so it's pretty good, I think, on the bottom tube. So you get the idea of what I'm doing here. So now I'm just gonna do the top two chainstay protectors, or chainstays, top two chainstays. I'm gonna put the film on there. One thing I do wanna mention with this kit, pretty much I was able to do the top tube, bottom tube. I got two little strips for the top of the chainstays, and that leaves me with this much left. So there isn't a whole lot they send you, so, but that's still, those are the major areas covered: top tube, bottom tube, here and here, and then the front of there, which you probably don't even necessarily need to do. But just letting you know, that's about as much as you get with a kit, at least for an extra large size frame. The next thing I'm going to do is use this 3M mastic tape. It's a self-adhesive tape, rubber tape, and put it along the chainstay here. Chainstay on both my bikes, old bikes, just got mangled, so I'm just going to put this all from basically right here all the way to here. So this is the mastic tape, kind of what it looks like. Never actually worked with this before, so we'll see what it works like. Let's do a rough measurement here. I think since this stuff adheres to itself, I can basically just put it on here and then put another piece around it. Okay, so I am going to have to account for these gear cable guides. So I'm basically just going to cut around where these are. Okay, so that's done, about as good as it's going to get. It's not 100% perfect, but that's certainly a lot more protection than I had on previous bikes that got messed up pretty bad by chain slaps, so I'm happy with that. I don't know if you guys have checked out Clint Gibbs' YouTube channel. He uses something similar. He just wraps hockey tape, I believe, actually around it. So I think this is a little bit nicer looking than the hockey tape, but just as effective. Just kind of making sure it's in all the creases here. So just gonna wrap this video up now. We got the Lamin-X Frameguard on there, the matte finish, which I think looks really cool on the matte finish frame. Top tube, bottom tube, top of the chain stays. I put this mastic tape on the actual lower chainstay where the actual chain goes. So I think that's gonna be good. One thing I am gonna do is I'm gonna take the frame inside for a few days, let it warm up inside, make sure this frame tape adheres properly. I don't wanna leave it out in the cold garage. So hope that helps anybody looking to do this Lamin-X frame guard on their bike. The matte finish looks really good. So again, guys, thanks for stopping by the channel. Thanks for liking the videos, subscribing, all that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting the subscribe in the bottom corner. Really appreciate it. Stay tuned as we get this Kobain built up. We got a lot, well, maybe not a lot more. We got a few more videos to get that built up, so stay tuned. And as always, keep your feet on the pedals.
Oh, shut your face, Toogy, Howser.